tell us what the hell is going on with ballerina farms, because I believe that a lot of the men in here, me included, would have no clue what you're talking about.
Well, we talked about her before because she is a pageant winner, and she did this big speech at one of her wins where she said that becoming a mother is one of the most empowering things she's ever done in her life. And you wouldn't really hear a pro-life message like that often. So she is a lifestyle influencer. She is a mom of 7. She is a beautiful, blonde, skinny, tall woman. And she posts things about making sourdough bread and caring for her farm animals and drinking raw milk.
It's a 41-month-old?
She's the literal definition of the social media trad wife, but I think that she comes off as quite authentic. People expect her to apologize for marrying into wealth. She married into wealth, this fortune of over $400 million from the JetBlue Corporation. And, she portrays this simple, humble farm life. And people feel like she should put a disclaimer on all of her posts saying, by the way, I married into wealth. Here's my video about taking care of my chickens.
That's not her job.
And you're right. It's not her job. It's not her responsibility. But people just nitpick this woman to death. And it's kind of bizarre to me because the way that people flex their wealth, usually with designer items and luxury sports cars and, all of these like blatant flexes, they don't get hate for that. You'll only get hate for quote unquote pretending to be poor or having an alternative lifestyle outside of New York or LA.
Yeah.
Is she though? Is she pretending to be poor?
No, I wouldn't say she is.
She's got and they've got like I saw that Linda from Mostly Peaceful Latinos was talking about her recently too, because she's got like 30 people that work for her.
She does have staff, yeah. But it's not like she has to disclose every detail of her life in every post. She obviously has a successful business.
It's just a social media version of when somebody says like, oh, I like apples. And they're like, oh, so you hate oranges then?
Exactly. Wait, everyone wants to nitpick.
She has a staff, like the ballerina farm lady?
Yeah, she has staff that help her out taking care of her farm. I'm sure she has people that help take care of her children.
Okay. That is a little different. I mean, like, because you could live on a farm and have 7 kids and not have to have married into like a $400 million fortune.
But it's not going to look like a magazine.
Right.
Like hers does.
Yeah.
But it's all curated anyway, just like everything else on social media.
Is it any faker than having to look at a cover of Taylor Swift pretending to bake?
Yeah, like at least this woman
Taylor Swift doesn't bake.
Actually walks the walk. So recently she was criticized for doing what a lot of people do when they own animals and work on a farm. She killed one of her chickens. This is a resurfaced post from back in 2018. Here's her caption. A rooster attacked our 1-year-old Frances yesterday as she crawled about the farm. By the time we broke up the melee, poor Frances was a bloody mess with scratches all over her head and back. Rooster, though a good protector of his hens, had already exhibited aggressive behavior towards humans. He tried to attack Daniel, her husband, once who promptly drop-kicked him halfway across the farm, ending the conflict. But it's hard for the children to garner that level of respect without a similar show of force. If Rooster had it his way, he would rule Ballerina Farm with a draconian fist in true dictatorship fashion. This sounds like Chicken City. But this is our farm, and we don't tolerate such behavior from our animals. Therefore, while Daniel was in town yesterday, I made rooster noodle soup. Animal husbandry is the work of perfecting the herd. Culling for bad behavior or poor physical stature maintains the farm's forward progress and keeps farmers safe. So she killed a chicken and ate it. Mm-hmm. Big whoop, right? But now everyone is angry.
The chickens that you get from the store, they just magically appeared there. They're not actually killed. That's just the magical chickens that aren't actually killed.
Right. Yes. Yeah. I guarantee you Ballerina Farm treats her chickens better than industrial farms treat their chickens.
Even when they attack her baby.
Yeah. I mean, this is also like people, specifically vegans, value animal life over human life, and they don't care that her baby got attacked by an animal. Doesn't matter.
The Taylor Swift vegans?
Mm-hmm. So a lot of people were just criticizing her, like, for, I don't guess, being inauthentic, but also saying that she portrays that she does all of this work on her farm, whereas she actually has employees do most of the work for her.
Look, I don't care if she's fake. Like, it's social
I don't
media.
either.
It's your job
Right.
to understand that social media is not real life. Anytime you start recording a video and you get to make edits to anything that you say, you get to decide when and where the video starts and ends. You're looking at something that's been created for you to watch in a specific way. Unless you're seeing it done in real life, it's fake. It's all fake. So if you watch this stuff, it's on you to be like, look, what I'm looking at is not an accurate representation of the real world. Sure, it's entertaining. Sure, I find it idyllic and something maybe I would like to have one day. But even the people that have it don't really have it. So it is what it is. That's on you.
I saw this one post that's now deleted saying, sometimes I watch this farm lady's cooking videos when they're suggested on Instagram. She's got like 10 kids and always pregnant. I'm always like, wow, they work so hard on their farm. Well, I Googled them and her husband's father was the founder of JetBlue, and the stove behind her in her videos is worth $35,000. So I guess that's why they say a stove unraveled her entire facade of being a real homesteader, because she has an expensive kitchen.
Co-parter.
Yeah, and
Sucks to suck, dude.
there's something called the homesteading snark community.
What?
I hate the world.
Yeah. It's just an online community that's dedicated to hating on people that post content about homesteading and farm life.
I'm gonna go out on a limb, Mary. Is this a community of mostly women or men?
It's women.
Shocking.
Wow, women tearing down other women. I've never heard of that happening before. So she says the family doesn't do a lick of farming or homesteading. They have staff. Everything that woman touches dies, including the poor animals. She's obsessed with milking them and then lets them die like they're nothing. They let their kids run around barefoot near untrained dogs and in the Parisian metro. Gasp. That woman cannot cook for shit either.
How do you know? You haven't tasted it.
Yeah, I don't know.
What the hell does that mean?
And yeah, they're Mormons, but these types of people usually are. That or they're evangelists. Oh, how dare they have a different religion than you? So she's hated on because she is Mormon, because she pretends to be poor, supposedly, because she is a pro-life mom, because she's married.
Like, I don't watch her.
Because
I
she's
don't watch
beautiful.
I don't watch her content. What about her pretend? Like, is it because like she lives in a place that just doesn't look like it's in a city, so therefore it's pretending to be poor? What does that mean?
You know, there are so many people.
Bags?
There are far more people on social media that pretend to be rich when they're not than people who are rich pretending to be poor.
You know what it
so
is?
how about we criticize all of it equally?
It's influencers who have to do the thing where they pretend to fly in a private jet to get photos to pretend to be rich. Mad that the lady who pretends to be poor can actually ride on the private jet. That's just sad.
It is the have-nots who are, once again, seething at the haves.
And this is like an outcome that is not all that unpredictable when you think about what everybody posting just the highlights of their lives is going to do to people, right? You sit all day in your cubicle job and you look at all these people who post this curated content that makes their life look more interesting than it is. You know, that's going to make people, you know, and that's on you. It's your job to curate your own social media experience and not allow yourself to sit there and look at a bunch of stuff that just makes you envious all the time. Right?
Well, is the assumption that she's poor because she lives on a farm? Where did the assumption even come from in the first place? So basically people just hate her when they find out that she's rich. That's the only thing she's done wrong?
I think that women specifically engage with social media in a very toxic way where it's just constant comparison.
I found some interesting...
just every time that they see someone has something they don't, it makes them... I don't know. It just has this extremely destructive effect on their minds.
Yeah, it's like competitive. Because not only is she pretty, she also has a bunch of kids. she's married, she has a farm, so they have to find some reason to hate her.
I found some interesting, like, where the edges are for what people find acceptable. So, like, if you look at skating content, like when you post skating content, most of it, depending on how dangerous you get, a lot of people, they think it's cool. Even the people that don't really understand it say, wow, that's really cool. I'll get comments, for instance, sometimes saying, like, you should wear a helmet. And I'm like, that's never going to happen. I can't. I cannot, because it's actually not more dangerous, but it throws off my equilibrium because I've been doing it without one for so long that I never got around to. I'm just not going to do that. Sorry, I'm not going to do that. If I die skating, I'll laugh. I'll laugh in the afterlife. But that's not the point. It's never going to happen. But have you ever seen the videos of the dudes, of like the free runners and the parkour dudes who like run on beams on skyscrapers, right? It's like if they missed a single beam, they would die. There is no saving themselves. There is no nothing. The comments on those videos, it's almost all people who are like, you're a scumbag who is a bad person because your mom spent 9 months in labor and your parents loved you and you're just out here risking your life for nothing but social media clout. So there's...
Do you agree with them?
No, I don't. I mean, to an extent, I think that the risk is insane. But I also understand that when you do sports like that, to varying degrees, part of what you do it for is the ability to physically push yourself to boundaries where you have not gone before, and that's why you do it. Now, that became very different when social media became a thing. So to the average person, the idea is like, do you only do this because you get likes and validation on social media, or do you do it because you want to push the boundaries of what you yourself are capable of? Now, the problem is those are inextricably linked. Why you're not going to do something like that and not record it. And nowadays, the place where you post that stuff is on social media, which is tied to likes and reposts and all this stuff. So even though I disagree with them, I absolutely understand that instinctive response to be like, why would you put your family through that? Because my mom hated that. My mom was not a fan, because I took a lot more risks when I was younger, and my mom wasn't a huge fan of that.
Okay, but I mean, people were taking risks before you could record them and put them on the internet.
Yes.
And what about all those people who have like entire accounts dedicated to eating videos where they're eating fast food all day, every day, and sending themselves to an early grave?
That's
after they're not, their mom carried them for 9 months or whatever. That's an even bigger risk.
I made the joke. I was like, Mom, I've driven in a car with you. I've taken plenty of risks before. But it's just, but you open yourself up to that criticism when you're willing to put yourself out there.
I think a lot of those resentful comments are just people coping because they don't believe that they're capable of achieving similar greatness. Whether it's adrenaline junkies who are taking risks that they would never take, or it's a woman with a seemingly idyllic life and a beautiful family, and they feel resentful because they see that as unattainable. Like, this article says, Hannah Nealman, Ballerina Farm, is the embodiment of a maternal ideal wholly impossible for most of us to attain. She is the Gwyneth Paltrow of moms, the Barbie of moms, the Martha Stewart of moms.
That's kind of based because Martha Stewart's a tax hero or she's a criminal. So I'm
based because of Gwyneth Paltrow too.
Yes. Like I kind of like the idea that like nowadays that's somebody like think about that. Like Martha Stewart has like it's Martha Stewart's Christmas. And just this is the lady who was in the clink. She was locked up.
This is why we stumble over ourselves trying to ascertain how many babysitters are lurking behind the scenes, why we comb Reddit threads looking for context, why we continuously ask ourselves what is up with all things Ballerina Farm. Their lives are perfect, too perfect. Why would that be your reaction to just seeing something positive and wholesome? Like, that's a personal issue. There's nothing wrong with what she posts.
I would also be more annoyed if they're like, then you get the perfect person who's got the perfect life. The shot is framed perfectly. Her clothes have no wrinkles. And she's like, look, my life isn't perfect. Like, I have struggles just like you. Like, there's this actually thing that was going on in the South Park thing where, like, Logan LaDouche is like, look, like, people suck sometimes. That's why you got to work twice as hard. So smash the like button. Like that's just as fake. That's just as fake.
Yeah. Like, in her videos, she's not doing anything that normal, ordinary people without hundreds of millions of dollars can't do. She's baking bread, making butter.
Maybe what she's
churning butter, or she's like milking a cow. Like, you can do all of those things.
Abusing her kids.
Douglas
being a
Dontis
good
is
mom.
right. Martha Stewart, it was insider trading, not taxes.
Oh,
So
right.
yes, but no, like it's so. What they should do is they should turn her channel into like her highlighting all of the women and men that work for her, where it's just showing the other people who are not as beautiful and is not as camera ready.
No, all of her employees are models, Brett.
That's even better. That's hilarious. Like she just hires like Victoria's Secret supermodels to like nanny her kids, and like yes, just do that. All the men are just like male models doing the farm work, and it's just super fake. I love it.
It just sucks because anytime that people see like happy families and beautiful women or anything that is just inherently wholesome and good on social media, they just want to attack it, or they hope that secretly behind the scenes it's this nightmare.
Yeah,
And that shows that you are ugly on the inside.
envy is the word, and envy is becoming the most common thing that we're seeing right now. It's one of the reasons why we're seeing the culture war go the way that it's going, because there's nothing somebody likes more than hating you and feeling justified in attacking you, which is what a lot of them do, right? They're like, well, she's rich. She's probably destroying the ozone layer, and she's pushing white supremacy. So it's okay to hate her.
Yeah.
Her husband is a multimillionaire. We don't want millionaires. We need equity. We need communism. So therefore, it's okay to rag on this lady because her life is interesting and my life sucks.
Right, but hating on her doesn't make her any less rich or any less beautiful.
Sucks to
Let's be
suck,
real.
losers. Like,
Ballerina
that's-
Farm is going to stay winning, and the haters are going to
look,
continue
this-
coping and seething.
And this lady's life, for all we know, is miserable behind the scenes. Doesn't mean your life isn't any less miserable hating her. So I guess in the end, you both lose.
She's miserable and rich. You're miserable and middle class.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.